Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. The Anomaly, TensuraXDate Alive, by Humpzwas Chapter 5. Let our date begin. Ch5. After a while, Ch5 led Rimuru to a nearby restaurant. The two walked slowly at first, but after Rimuru's stomach made some strange noises, both of them started moving faster. And so the two arrived at the restaurant faster than planned. The place the two went to looked like a small, ordinary diner. It looks nothing special from the outside, but this is one of the strategic locations of Ratatoskr. After walking to the front door of the restaurant, Ch5 took the lead and also chose the seat. Ch5 was immediately able to recognize some people with strange expressions. It seemed that they were Ratatoskr employees and were around to help him. Ch5 and Rimuru sat down, facing each other. After taking his place, Ch5 looked at Rimuru. She sat in a chair elegantly, with her silver blue hair hanging down to her back and golden eyes that always looked around casually. Her attitude was completely different from that of the spirits he had met. Not childish or playful like the rest of the spirits he had sealed. Rimuru exudes the feeling of an adult and knows how to behave. Her movements are very orderly and neat but also very normal. But there is something that bothers him. Rimuru has been keeping her distance from him up until now, and nothing has changed. While Ch5 was looking at Rimuru with worry, the waiter walked over and handed the menu to Rimuru. "Give me this, please," Rimuru told the staff politely after seeing what was on the menu. What Rimuru chose were a portion of ramen and a soft drink. She made those choices very quickly as if she already knew what was available there. Although he was a bit puzzled, Ch5 didn't ask any more and also called a part like Rimuru's. "Give me the same as her," Ch5 ordered, and Rimuru gave him a strange look but quickly stopped it. While waiting for the food to be brought out, Ch5 tried to squeeze out a question to start a conversation. But the problem was that he didn't know what to say. It would be easy if he knew more about Rimuru, but right now, he knows nothing. She simply showed up, was invited by Ch5, and was led to random restaurants by Ch5. She didn't talk as much as Toka or Yoshino. She just said what needed to be said and remained silent, even though Ch5 tried to be as friendly as possible. Rimuru was very different from how he was trained. She simply did not open up to him. Unable to find anything to talk about, Ch5 just kept silent. After a while, the food was brought out. When the waiter put the food down, Ch5 made a somewhat surprised expression. This ramen dish appears to be more expensive than the price listed on the menu. Although he was surprised, he did not reveal it because he knew that Ratatoskr was definitely behind this. Ch5 slowly picked up his chopsticks to prepare to eat, but before that, he turned to look at Rimuru. She had started eating before him. She ate slowly and seemed to be enjoying the food. She seemed to have noticed that Ch5 was staring at her, so Rimuru raised her head and looked at him. "What are you looking at, or nothing?" Ch5 panicked and quickly avoided eye contact. Ch5 is still aware that he needs to speak with her, but he is unable to do so. Every time she looks at him, he can't help but be lost in thought because of how beautiful she is. Her golden eyes, her perfect skin. Everything about her is just so perfect that she seems like an angel. Ch5. Inside a dim half-elliptical space, lights were floating on the many displays. The place Ch5 was in right now, with a longitudinal distance of 15,000 meters from where Ch5 and the spirit are located, was the bridge of the airship less than Fraxinus greater than floating in the sky. Right in the middle of it, while eating chupa chups and sitting arrogantly on the commander's seat, Ch5 frowned. To help Ch5 seal the spirits, Ratatoskr took into account every possibility. Even when a spirit somehow was not detected by AST and met with Ch5 directly, Ratatoskr staff would blend into the street and silently support him. From there, Ratatoskr considered all the possibilities and created a group of over 1,000 different plans. Ch5 was very confident when everything went according to plan. But things didn't go her way at all, even though Rimuru agreed to go with Ch5. Neither of them had any significant interaction with each other, and Ch5 couldn't call this a date. Ch5 did not even start a conversation with her. Ch5 could see that Ch5 looked at Rimuru from time to time and tried to find something to talk about, but every time Rimuru looked at him, Shido just quickly looked away. Looking at the two of them made Katori feel mad. Right now Katori wanted to shout to remind Shido of what to do, but she was hesitant about Rimuru being able to know their conversation and plan. The higher-ups of Ratatoskr had a long discussion about this new spirit. The first thing to do is to approach her, and Shido absolutely must not say that this is a date. If Shido opened his mouth to say that, Ratatoskr has no idea how Rimuru would react. For this spirit, every decision must be the safest one. Rimuru had a more alert attitude than any other spirit Ratatoskr had encountered before, so it was extremely important to move forward slowly to avoid provoking her. Even though the current situation wasn't going as Katori wanted, at least everything was still going according to plan. Katori sighed and then looked up at the main screen. Rimuru's affection level and mental state are currently normal, so at least now she doesn't see Shido as a threat. If it continues like this, the ceiling won't be a problem anymore. Rimuru Pav, after a while, Rimuru and Shido finish their portions, and Shido is the one paying because she didn't have any money. But when she saw him pay, only then did Rimuru notice something unusual here. The less than Fraxinus greater than airship above had been watching Rimuru from the beginning, and she wasn't too bothered by it. But at this restaurant, everything is prepared thoughtfully. That must be the Ratatoskr organization. If so, why does Shido still have to pay? The only thing she could think of was that they were trying to gain her trust for convenience in the future. But that's fine for Rimuru, as long as they are not hostile. Shido finished paying while Rimuru was thinking. He then turned to face her and said, "Shall we go?" "Okay," Rimuru said as he got up from her seat and slowly walked out. As he walked out of the store, Rimuru could feel herself becoming more relaxed than before. Eating when hungry was always the best feeling, a feeling that she hadn't felt for a long time. With a relaxed state of mind, Rimuru comfortably let out a light smile and looked up at the clear blue sky. While relaxing, Seal suddenly spoke up. Less than looks like you forgot something, Rimuru-sama. Greater than. Less than him. Greater than less than you met individual Shido to know more about Ratatoskr organization and get more information, Rimuru-sama. Greater than. Less than I haven't forgotten about that, I'll ask him later, no need to rush greater than. For some reason, Rimuru could feel like Seal was secretly sighing and not believing what Rimuru just said. Less than you're just imagining it greater than Seal quickly interrupted Rimuru's train of thought. After a short conversation between Rimuru and Seal, Rimuru decided to turn around and ask Shido for some information about Ratatoskr as well as how they sealed the spirit. But before she could open her mouth, Shido spoke first. "Anyway, you don't know anything here, right? How about I show you around for a bit?" Shido said, looking at Rimuru as if expecting her to accept. Surprised by Shido's sudden suggestion, Rimuru looks at the surrounding area. Currently, both Shido and her were in front of the restaurant they had just left. A lot of people were walking around. It doesn't seem like an appropriate place to talk about spirit. After considering his offer for a while, Rimuru accepted it. "Okay, then, lead the way." After Rimuru accepted, Shido turned his back and started walking, and she followed. While walking, she looked around for a bit. People were still crowded in the street. It made Rimuru think that maybe the restaurant was just a test to see if Rimuru was hostile or not. Which makes more sense when they're taking a spirit around in the middle of a crowded city. The atmosphere was pretty relaxing, and it made Rimuru just want to go around for a bit more. After all, her original purpose of coming here was just to hang out, but due to unusual circumstances, she had to do this kind of thing now. Would it be okay if she relaxed for a while? Ryuko Pav, Kusukabe Ryuko stood in the JGSDF military base, her gaze fixed on the main screen. Kusakabe Ryuko, currently, Ryuko is observing a satellite image. Until she suddenly found Origami who was walking in a weirdly different way, as if spying someone. Ryuko calls Origami through her phone. "Less than Origami, what are you doing?" "Greater than. Less than spirit, I'm following Shido and her, greater than." Origami immediately knew that this one of less than Ratatoskr greater than plans of sealing a spirit, and she couldn't bear another girl stealing Shido's lips. "Less than spirit, why didn't you tell me beforehand, Origami?" Is it the less than destroyer greater than Ryuko asks, expecting an answer immediately. Yes, Origami said. Currently, all of the AST units that can be deployed have mobilized to prepare for the attack. At the same time, other units from the JGSDF were also mobilized. The AST team members were scattered over a large area, ready to act when ordered. Meanwhile, Ryuko still just stood and looked at the information displayed on the screen. 98.5% similar, Ryuko muttered. It was no coincidence that they had mobilized such a large force only to deal with someone who looked like a spirit. The one displayed on the screen was only a cute girl, a normal sight. But it gave Ryuko a chill. Because it is just the same as the previous less than princess greater than encounter. A few days ago, less than princess greater than also appeared and was discovered this way. Even if it was a surprise attack. But somehow, less than princess greater than was able to survive and cause damage to the entire team. But this time, Ryuko was sure there would be no room for error. This time, the opponent was less than destroyer greater than, a spirit that, if fought with all its might, would be even more powerful than less than princess greater than. Or even its inverse form, Ryuko thought. Origami informed her about inverse spirits. The creatures that have turned the rich places into a land of destruction have caused extensive destruction. The most terrifying of all disasters. Next to it was still the same boy, the same person as last time. Ryuko couldn't help but be surprised the last time. For some reason, Origami showed a scared expression after shooting at less than princess greater than. After that, less than princess greater than got angry, and that boy couldn't be found after less than princess greater than disappeared. And now he has appeared again with another spirit. There are many unusual details to this situation. But for now, the AST team was encountering a spirit in a densely populated area, and with the previous incident, they angered less than princess greater than leading to the destruction of a large area. So now they can't act carelessly this time. The target this time is less than destroyer greater than, a spirit that can cause tremendous destruction, so it needs a surprise attack and a decisive kill. Origami, wait right there, I'm sending you your gear right away, Ryuko said to Originum through the phone. Please continue to monitor and wait for orders to act, absolutely do not act recklessly, Ryuko spoke into the walkie-talkie that spread to all 30 members of the AST. They discovered how terrifying this spirit was after their encounter with destroyer greater than. The shockwave alone in the middle of the battle against Origami was enough to injure most of the team members, and with just one move, it was possible to blow away a large area. This time they were especially alert, they even brought with them the most destructive guns of the army to prepare for any worst-case scenario. Ryuko sighed after looking at the monitor screen. She turned away and headed to the place where the team gathered.